Hello, and welcome to episode 5 of the Excalibur podcast, hosted by me, Kyle Brooks. I was thinking the other day that for the first 5 years of me moving to the United States, I did not have a television set. And that was strategically done because I believe that by focusing on myself and not consuming information that was not required, but rather information that was necessary for my progress in life, I would be able to advance to so much further than I actually was when I got here. And I can tell you that the results from utilizing that system catapulted me further than anybody else that I was competing against. I looked at people when they came to work on Monday, and all they can think about or all they could talk about was either the sport that they had watched on the weekend, a baseball game, the UFC, boxing, anything along those lines. But my mindset was slightly different. It was focused on what were the problems that my customers were facing and how could I solve those problems. See, business is nothing but a value exchange. And by focusing on how much value you can add to your customers and to your life, your entire life starts to change. And mine did. My income started to exponentially increase over the next 3 years. And when I thought about it, it made sense. Because if you think that when you're sitting at home and spending hours and hours in front of the television or listening to music or watching social media, what are you doing? You're consuming, and you're consuming information that is not adding any benefit to your life. You're consuming programs and stories from fictitious characters that are not even real and are getting paid millions and millions of dollars to be there to either play a sport or to play somebody that's not real. And you're engrossed in this programming. And yet, when in real life, you are not happy, you are distracted from what it is that you should be focusing on. It's a numbing effect that is holding you back from achieving what it is that you were sent here to do. And to provide a better life for yourself and for your family. And by focusing on TV, by focusing on the programming, by focusing on the sports and everything else that is consistently bombarding you, you choose to say that my family, myself, and my legacy is not as important as me being distracted in this moment in time. Now, I'm not saying that watching a movie or watching a TV program or watching a sports game is not something that could be advantageous to you. But I'm saying that if you are not in the place that you want to be right now, and you are not where it is that you would like to be, then the last thing you should be doing is spending hours and hours in front of the TV watching sports and video games and other programs. What you can do, though, is you can start to focus on what it is that is going to advance you in life, which is what I did. I looked at what was the industry that I was operating in, what were the key issues that were in that industry, and how could I utilize the knowledge that I have found to make solutions for those issues. And I know that that sounds like you're going to be doing a lot of work, but at the end of the day, that work is going to pay off for you down the line. For me, I'm not where I want to be right now, and I've allowed TV and other sorts of entertainment to come creeping back into my life. And I realized that. So how do I plan to change it? Right now, it is focusing on cutting out the unnecessary fat that is there in my life by weeding out those weeds and cultivating a mindset that is going to be focused solely on where it is that I would like to be in the next 3 to 5 years. Putting plans in place that are going to be incrementally growing me as a person. And I know a lot of people are going to look at this and go, you know what? That is way too much work, and it is not what I have signed up for. And that's okay. It's okay for you to be average. Like, at the end of the day, the United States economy is not slowed down so that the weak, it's not, what is the word I'm looking for? It's not, the United States economy is not geared so that the wealthy can win, but it's rather geared so that the poor can survive. I mean, I look around and I see people that are on the streets with cell phones and still able to consume Netflix and all the rest of these things, and I'm like, wow, these guys are technically beggars. And if you look at beggars in South Africa, it's a very different story to how it is right over here. They have nothing down there. It's not this syndicate or this farce of, oh, I'm just gonna choose to be on the street. No, these people literally have nothing. They've come there with nothing, and they're willing to work to get a day's worth of food. Here, on the other hand, you give somebody $1 and they decide that it's not good enough and they scorn at you. So, it's okay. There are people that need to be in specific positions, and it's okay to find yourself in that position. I know a friend that I guarantee he's known as the procrastinator by everybody in the friend group. And he's going to stay that way because that's his mindset. And no matter how many times people bring it up to him, he chooses to stay that way because that's who he identifies as. He chooses to distract himself with things that are adding absolutely no value. He goes to work, does his day of work if he ever gets to that day of work, and then comes home, or he works from home, and he stays that way. He stays distracting himself from what it is that could truly make a difference in his life. So I ask you, is watching TV, consuming copious amounts of information that is not making a difference to your life really benefiting you? Because if it is not, focus on the things that are going to. Focus on where you would like to be. And that way, when you look back at your life, you can truly say that you have lived full and that you have died empty. Your tombstone will not read, not used up. Because that's where I believe that I'm going to be. I believe that I am going to completely live to the fullest of my capability every single day and ensure that I leave a legacy for my family, for my name's sake. And it starts right now. It starts with you. And you can choose to change at any given time that you truly want to. At the end of the day, it is completely up to you when that happens. For me, it took a massive catalyst. It took a catalyst of losing all of my assets in South Africa and going through a divorce. It took losing my daughter. It took losing my father. It also took losing myself. And once I had discovered that I have the ability to change that, to change the way that I saw the world. Because when I came from a place of where we used to eat dinner in front of the TV. We never used to talk to each other. We never used to truly connect with each other to any certain degree that was meaningful. There was this dopamine rush that you'd get from watching TV over and over and over again, watching these different programs and getting engrossed in their lives, in the lives of people that are getting paid millions and millions of dollars to put on a show to distract you and numb you from how crappy your life actually is. And when you understand that, you get to see the real game that is being played. You get to focus on where it is that you are right now and how you can make a difference to yourself. Because I think that there comes a time in your life when you realize that it's not going to be worth it. It's not going to be worth it to stay where you are. I've numbed myself for a long time. And trust me, it was not an easy thing to go through. It was not a how can I put this? The payment comes due at the end of the day. And by letting yourself go and by letting yourself be numbed, be distracted, and be unfulfilled, you will eventually find that the bill that comes is not one that you're willing to pay. So change. Focus on what it is that is important. Focus on how you can benefit the world and how you can add value to the world. If you look at all the richest people, the most wealthy people in the world, they are the ones that are of most service. Jeff Bezos, for example, he serves over 1 billion people on Amazon. Elon Musk, he's changing the world day by day, trying to infiltrate different planets, and he was the first person to actually successfully pull off an electric vehicle. PayPal was also one of his babies, a different payment method that was able to cross the world, cross different country lines. So if you choose to no longer distract yourself and rather to focus on what it is that your mission is, I believe, and I guarantee you, I bet you $100 that your life will be exponentially better than it is right now. Allow yourself to network with the right people. Open yourself up to having conversations with people that are going to enrich you. Real people. People that are going to assist in your growth of your soul, your mind, and your body. And when that happens, you will realize that it's all for naught. All this distraction was merely a game to see how badly you actually want success in the world. If you don't have a Ferrari and you don't have the money, the house, the lifestyle that you truly want, then you shouldn't be watching TV. You can have time and be broke, or you can be busy and not have time. But you can't be both. So choose wisely. I really hope that you guys enjoyed this episode. I look forward to seeing you guys later. You can find us on Excalibur Coaching on Instagram, on Facebook, as well as on YouTube and Spotify. Have a fantastic day, guys.